Thank you for that prayer. All praise be to the Most High. Back in this thing again with the Mishpachah. All right, we're gonna continue on. All right, from where we left off last week or the week before. You know what I mean when I say that. Last lesson, say it like that. Um, just walking through the scriptures and just walk through the scriptures line by line. We had initially, if you remember, we went over or does anybody remember? Before I just say it out loud, maybe somebody does. That way I ain't gotta.
1
All
and
right,
2, Shemot,
right. And in that we were dealing with,
Moshe,
yes, dealing with the birth of Moshe. We got had a good conversation about that. We was talking about how he ended up having the caretaker that he ended up having. Of course, it was Pharaoh's daughter, the whole nine, right? How he was taken care of, how he was identified as a brew in the first place, and how he was raised up. It was just good conversation that we were having. So yeah, yeah. Thank you for that. Um, and towards the end of that, we saw that the who is it that our people went to crying out loud, right? Right towards the end of two. What did I say? How's verse 23 and 24 go? I'm sorry, somebody trying to say something. How verse 23 and 24 go? It was and 25. What did it say? And it came to pass in the process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Yasharel sighed by reason of the bondage, and they cried, and their cry came unto Yah by reason of the bondage. 24. And Yah heard their groaning, and Yah remembered his covenants with Abraham, with Isaac, and Jacob. And Yah looked upon the children of Yasharel, and Yah had respect unto them. All right, so that's how we ended up ending that thing off. So now we press on to good old Horeb, where it begins. All right, so here's the first question. All right, books closed, books closed, books closed. All right, it was a regular day for Moses, to Moses. He's just watering the flocks, right? But what was so interesting about a bush? This is an oldie but a goodie, right? So I think everybody know this one. What was so interesting about this bush when he was watering these flocks?
There was fire.
It was fire in that thing. Yep, there was some fire. That's for sure. Anybody else?
But the bush wasn't being.
angel,
Go ahead, Amy Vicky, and we'll come to you later.
But the bush wasn't consumed. The fire was there.
Ah,
The bush wasn't
so some
burned
fire
up.
in that thing, but it wasn't consumed.
Mm-mm.
That would be interesting.
Very.
What you what you say, Mon?
an angel appeared.
Oh, so Malakim appeared. Okay, okay. All right. We're gonna press on. All right. Somebody, let's get the reading going. All right, yeah. Let's crack it open. Let's crack it open. Let me get that with y'all. Whoever gonna be reading.
I got you.
Yes, sir.
All right. This is Shemot 3, 1 through 6. And I'm reading out of the Sefer. Now
Okay.
Moshe kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. And he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of Elohim, even to Choreb. And the angel of Yahuwah appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of the thorn bush. And he looked, and behold, the thorn bush burned with fire, and the thorn bush was not consumed. And Moshe said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the thorn bush is not burnt. And when Yahuwah saw that he turned aside to see, Elohim called unto him out of the midst of the thorn bush and said, Moshe, Moshe. And he said, here am I. And he said, draw not nigh hither, put off your shoes from off your feet, for the place whereon you stand is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the Elohai of your father, the Elohai of Avram, the Elohai of Yitzhak, and the Elohai of Yaakov. And Moshe hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Elohim.
Y'all hit it. Y'all hit it. It was all three of them, man. He gonna look at that bush and be like, once again, right? We're reading, we're seeing ourselves right in the scripture. So he's like, a bush burning in and of itself probably ain't enough for you to just go ahead and turn around and pew, like take off, right? But it's definitely interesting, because people have seen something burn before. As a matter of fact, I didn't venture to say you stare at something burning, right? That's not even that's not a big thing, but let that bush start talking to you. Yeah, at that point, yeah, no. But it obviously captivated him enough to be like, all right, I'll deal with it, but in the back of his mind, what's that last thing said? He was afraid to even look, right? Look at the Most High. So, and I
I
like
like the
how
way
Seth
he
was about to read. Go ahead.
I like the way he when the Most High was speaking to him, he said in verse 6, he said, moreover, he said, I am the Elohai of your father, the Elohai of Avram, the Elohai of Yitzhak, the Elohai of Yaakov. So so this indicates that Moshe knew exactly who he was and his lineage that he came from. You know what I'm saying?
Hallelujah.
And this is how he knew to have reverence and respect unto the Most High.
hmm Big facts. Big facts. Like I said, remember.
And you know, all of the people in the Bible who have had um, and, encounters with uh, Malachim or like Moses, Moshe, everybody was scared. You're not gonna you're not gonna have an encounter with the Most High and stand on your 2 feet and say, "Yeah, what's up?"
Yeah.
Daniel
First, I
fell
only read that
down.
one. Right.
Daniel
Everybody fell
fell
down.
down. They all fall down. They all like,
Yeah,
afraid.
everybody except for Yaakov. Yaakov was the only one that was wrestling in the whole nine. But and that was interesting in and of itself. Well, it's so far that I've read, unless somebody else got another one. But like to your point, I'm with you. Like every other time, that's the situation. And you just don't see this because whether it's the Malachim, the Most High, anything that's up that angelic realm, it's like of that heavenly realm. It's like you ain't dealing with that. That they can come down here and just do anything they want to do. So nah, you innately felt that. To your point,
You even see the Mashiach. The Mashiach got on his face and prostrated before the Most High. You know, um, he wasn't just standing there having this conversation when they were about to come for him. He was like, no, you know, not my will, but your will. So
right?
he on his face.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent points, y'all. Excellent points. Okay, we're gonna move on. All right, books closed. Books closed. Books closed. All right, what was going to be a sign to the Egyptians, right, Miss Rain, when Moshe was going to encounter Pharaoh? What was going to be a sign to the Egyptians when Moshe was getting ready to encounter Pharaoh? A few more seconds and we're going to move on. All right. Somebody get it. Let's get the reading going. Let's get the reading going. Somebody get this Shemot 3,
I can get
7
it.
through. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I even took a screenshot, Texas. I was like, it was you and I on at the beginning. He was the first person on. I took a screenshot. I said, no, I got to keep this
Alright.
as a keepsake. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I know I'm
Uh,
getting too sentimental. All right. Yes, 7 through 12. Go ahead.
And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrows, and I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and bring thereup out of the land unto a good land, and and
Yeah.
what does that say?
A land flowing.
Oh, my bad. I got confused for a second. My bad.
Yeah.
And a large unto a land flowing with milk and honey,
Uh-huh.
unto the land of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression therewith um, the Egyptians oppress them. Come now, therefore, I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. And Moses said unto God, Who am I that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that
Mhm.
I bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, and he said,
What he
Certainly
say?
certainly I will be with thee, and this shall be a token unto thee,
Hey,
that I have sent thee. When thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, ye shall serve God upon this mountain.
hallelujah. Appreciate that.
Um,
You see that? You said, what's gonna be that sign? I'm gonna be with you, first and foremost. First and foremost, what do I like in this too? I hate to bring in anything negative in, but it's like you ever had to get into a fight, like you said, like back in the day, right? Shafir, you Uncle Willie's son. You know,
Oh
I'm not
yeah,
trying to be
yeah,
funny
yeah,
about it, but it's
yeah,
like if you're trying to, you know what I'm saying?
yes, sir.
There's something about whenever you know who it is that you are, and you about to go into a fight. You know what I mean? If anybody been there, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's,
there's a certain level of confidence. It's just like a even a young man. That's why father's so important in a young man's life, right?
oh man, look here. Go
So
ahead.
you know, knowing that your father got your back, that your daddy got your back, and like when you go back and tell him what happened, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That there's something to that, you know. So the those of us who are missing that, you know what I'm saying? You know, we can only depend on the Most High, and it's like he gonna fight that battle, just like your father
Uh,
gonna come. Like you'll see he gonna come to you like I don't know what to do about this. This is a battle that I'm fighting with this man, with this woman, with these people. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah.
uh,
So yeah. But yeah, and that sign, of course, is going to be when I brought you, essentially brought my people out. And, this is, so he's already seeing the ending before this thing even get jumped off. That's what it's going to be to these Egyptians. And what's interesting, obviously, we're reading future chapters, right? He didn't got into the mind of them even beforehand, but we'll get into that. Obviously, that's another day. Anybody got anything to say?
yeah, I was looking at the verse where verse 8 was talking about unto a place. It was talking about the land of milk and honey.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at
The
I was going
Bosch.
through Matthew 1 and 18. It was talking about the Mashiach, and then
Mm-hmm.
in the old school KJVs, it kind of refers you back to different passages, right? So it took me to Isaiah 7:14, and it said, I'll read it from KJV. Therefore, the Lord Himself shall give you a sign: behold, I'm sorry, behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall name his name Emmanuel.
Mm-hmm.
15. Butter and honey shall he eat, that he may know to refuse evil and choose the good. Right. So I started looking up what butter is. Right. In this context, so butter is curd, and curd comes from milk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he's literally referencing the same terminology using you know, the milk and honey terminology, but it just says butter here in verse
Right.
15 of Isaiah, or 7 of Isaiah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's what's up. Awesome. All right. All right, cool. Let's press on, y'all. We do have something we got to get through. I don't know if this is short or not. I can't necessarily. Usually I'll tell you when it is, but I don't know. All right. So next question is gonna be, who was Moshe? It was close. Who was Moshe to tell the elders? Let me see how I was trying to ask this question. Y'all forgive me.
What was Moshe to tell the elders?
I guess. Yeah. Because I'm reading it. I think I'm asking the question how we're gonna read these next couple because of the verbs and all of that with like the English. So anyway, who was Moshe to tell the elders was sent to deliver them? Who was Moshe to tell the elders was sent to deliver them? Yeah, I think y'all know this, but it's just like it's because the way I'm asking it is interesting. But who was Moshe to tell the elders was sent to deliver them?
I am that I am.
All right, let's get this next few verses. Since you're talking, Emma,
Okay.
Shemot 3, please, 13 through 15.
Okay. Shemot 3, verse 13. And
Mhm.
Moshe said to Elohim, see, when I come to the children of Israel and say to them, the Elohim of your fathers has sent me, and they say to me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? And Elohim said to Moshe, I am that which I am. And he said, thus you shall say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you. And Elohim said further to Moshe, thus you are to say to the children of Israel, Yahuwah Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Yitzhak, the Elohim of Yaakov, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my remembrance to all generations.
How many generations?
All generations.
Oh, to all generations. So Ashar, Ahaya, Ashar. How did I say? Ashar, Ahaya, Ashar. Y'all know the rest, right? Y'all know what I'm doing.
Yes,
Haya,
sir.
Ashar, Ahaya. There you go. Haya, Ashar, Ahaya. That's it. You know, you got whole doctrines, man. That's that's on this one. But I don't knock it. I mean, hey, it is what it is. You read the scripture, you see what it is. If you want to say you know, Haya, Ashar, Ahaya, all praises. Hey man, you know, I ain't gonna I ain't knocking you. It says it right there, right? So yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Anybody else you know, hey, who was Moshe to tell the elders? Hey, it's I am that I am. You tell the elders, hey, this is who was sent.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything to say? Go ahead.
So his
And once
name is
again,
not the
oh,
Lord.
sorry.
Go ahead.
So his name is not the Lord.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's all in the same verse, right? Let me see. Yeah, you just said it. You just said it all. Let me go back to it. I was looking at that Isaiah script. I was still going on that. I appreciate it. Yeah. It said that's what it says, verse 15. It says Yahuwah of your fathers, right? Or is that how it says in the Sefer? Verse
Mhm.
15, and then Moshe say to the people,
I'm reading out of the scriptures. And it says Yahuwah Elohim.
yeah,
Yeah. That says in Sefer too.
so it's you Elohim. Yep.
The Hebrew letters there.
Yeah. Next time I'm the person I am. I can, man. If that's what you want to say. You want to say Ashar High Ashar. Just don't tell nobody. We can't say Yahuwah. That's all. You know what I'm saying? That's the person that sent us. Uh but yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. It might be a stretch, but what I'm seeing here is as he's saying, over thus shall you say unto your children, Yahuwah Elohai of your fathers. the Elohai, and he starts going through their legacy, right, their ancestry,
Mhm.
because to differentiate who he is versus what they've been seeing for the last 250 some years of different gods. He's saying,
Right.
hey, look, this is who I am. I'm none of these people or none of these gods here. So he's
Right.
making a distinction, like up front, up front.
Thank you for bringing that out. Thank you. Yes. If there's anybody that understands, in like once again from a DNA perspective, right? From etymology, not etymology, what's it called? What's the other E word? Uh, epigenetic perspective. I think the people on this phone call right now with that hard bondage for so many years. Like I said, some people they just don't understand that y'all can somewhat even if you don't know it experientially, you know it from your blood, right?
Mhm.
That yeah, you need to be told that like, hey, no, your Elohim is coming for you. Your Elohim is coming for you. Of your four mothers and four fathers, your Elohim is coming for you. You're gonna have to be told this sometimes. Open and
Mhm.
still, even to this day, with all the information that we have that we can present to family members and all of that, it still is hard to chip through, right?
Yes, it is.
So yeah, thank you for bringing that up, man. All of that, hundreds of years of being told that you ain't something. Yes, he's got it. He's gonna have to reiterate over and over and over and over again, over and over again. You know
And
what
it,
I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it's
because
even,
it's going
it's
to have to
even
be said
hard.
again. You know,
And
you
it's
don't.
even hard sometimes, like even with I have come to the realization that Christianity was never, they never, Yah was never their Elohim. So
Mm,
when you see Christianity in the state that it's in, and you tell people, well, they know Christianity's God is not the God, the mighty one of the Bible. It's not.
mm,
They have another God, another Elohim that they created. So how can, and it's hard for people to see this because Christianity has basically is all over the world. So people think, this must be it. They must be, but they're not, because most people don't understand how Christianity started, what we call
mm.
Christianity today. And it's hard for people to grasp that. Um, and I have a friend who I was really shocked. I was so shocked that I was telling her about, what I believe and stuff and everything. And uh she actually said, well, Abraham had many sons. You remember there was a little song that you sang
You
at
know it.
vacation about Abraham had many sons, and many sons have
Mm.
Abraham. I uh and that, she just doesn't get that when you read about him. And I said, well, how do they describe the mighty one of Abraham? They describe him as the what? God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's it.
They don't get it. I
No,
mean,
they don't.
indoctrination is so ingrained. It's like all I can say is y'all help them. That's it. That's all I can say. Because they just don't get it.
Mm-mm. They don't.
They don't,
Yeah,
and it's
they
even.
stuck on Romans 11. I think they come out. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
Free.
yeah. I was just gonna say that, bro. Because Romans 11, right, 1 through 4 is saying, has Yah cast away his people that he foreknew? You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Yah forbid, and it's through the New Testament is saying, or New Covenant is saying, Yah forbid that this ever happens. And then
Right.
there's other verses where he says, hey, when the sun stops giving its light, and this
Come
is
on.
when so he's telling you that, hey, these are always going to be my people, but through supersessionism, they don't see it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you looking at it right now? Now flip back a couple pages to Romans 9:8, because that's what they'll argue. What he was talking about. Go ahead.
Hold on
If
one
you're there
second.
already.
Let me get that. Just a second. Get back to my scriptures real
I ain't
quick.
got it in front of me. Hold on. Let me pull it up with you. I'm just thinking it's Romans 9:8. Let me see.
Said Romans 9 and 8.
Mhm.
I'm there. I can get it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
I've been since the beginning. I just let y'all talk.
okay.
hey.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
That is, they which are the children of the flesh, there are not the children of Elohim, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. That was Romans 9:8.
That was Romans 9:8. Yeah, that's what they'll similar to the promise. So that's what they'll use as far as the promise of what was given to Abraham. But then, like you said, now that's what Christians use. I'm just keeping it, but it's not about the flesh. And then, but even though who is it? Paul has talked about he deals with his people according to but whatever. I guess we'll skip over that, right? You're gonna use this for now. Then gonna now go back and read Romans 11:1 through 4 again. That's what I tell when people say, I say, "Oh, stick right there in Romans. That's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got
Read it one more time."
you. Yeah, look, okay.
Because that's what you're trying to establish that he did away with his people, and I'm like, no, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like that's what they're gonna try to establish that, you guys, or they're gonna try to do it.
So and then they do stuff like this. So if you look at Romans 9 and verse 11, right? It's in parentheses. So whenever you see italics or parentheses, this is not original text, right? This is something that was put in. So Romans 9 and 11 says, "For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Yah, according to the election, might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth." That is not part of Scripture. No one, Paul did not write that.
Mm,
That is parenthesized. Like someone outside of him put that in there, you know.
mm.
And I think once our people start realizing that once we read things that are italicized and parenthesized, that these are not coming from the authors of these books; these have been put in there, and they're
That's,
telling you they're doing it.
that's crazy. I never realized what the the parentheses meant. I just thought it was like highlighted for hey, this is a good something to like take note of. I didn't realize that somebody else put something in there. That's crazy that you would have the balls to do that. Like I would not have the cojones to put something in the Bible. Like okay, this is it.
And,
I didn't know
you
it
know,
either until I got into this walk, and it was like, well, that's what's that for. But they never tell you that in Bible class.
No, like that would have been brought out, and somebody's trying to explain to me, but I would have never out like if I'd have gotten into a debate with somebody, I would have never even known that's not scripturally sound. Like I mean, it's there, but it's not. That's not Paul's actual word. So that's not Yahuwah's actual word.
yeah, and it further
Yeah,
leads to deception and confusion and stuff like that. So
y'all know it. All right, appreciate all of that. Let's continue on. We got a few more to go. So All right. So what does Moshe tell the elders what it will take for Pharaoh to let his people go? Okay.
The
Let's just go
Most
ahead and go
High to
straight.
show him.
Yeah, I got you. I'm with you. On the Most High-Yah. So let's get that Shemot 3. Let's read all of them. Who got that 16 through 22?
I can read
I
it.
All right. Tehilliym. Let's go.
Okay, I'm reading from the Sefer.
Oh, okay.
It's 16. Go and gather the elders of Yasharel together and say unto them, Yahuwah Elohai of your fathers, the Elohai of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Yaakov, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you and seen that which is done to you in Mitzrayim. And I have said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Mitzrayim unto the land of the Canaanites and the, one second, I don't know all of these.
You reading that
Oh,
stuff
the
or what? Read next
Hittites,
one.
the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and and the Jebusites unto a land flowing with milk and honey. And they shall hearken to your voice, and you shall come, you and the elders of Yasharel, unto the king of Mitzrayim, and ye shall say unto him, Yahuwah Elohai of the Ibriym has met with us, and now let us go, we beseech you, 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to Yahuwah Eloheinu. And I am sure that the king of Mitzrayim will not let you go, no, not by a mighty hand. And I will stretch out my hand and smite Mitzrayim with all my wonders, which I will do in the midst thereof. And after that, he will let you go. And I will give this people favor in the sight of Mitzrayim. And it shall come to pass that when ye go, ye shall not go empty. But every woman shall borrow of her neighbor and of her that sojourns in her house jewels of silver and jewels of gold, raiments, and ye shall put them unto your sons and upon your daughters, and ye shall spoil the Mitzrayim.
That was I appreciate that. Thank you. It was good. It's a lot in there, right? Ooh-wee. So yeah, so to answer the question initially, yeah, what does Moshe tell the elders what it will take? Oh, it's gonna take, I don't know how y'all different versions say, but like verse 19, it's gonna take you're gonna have to be compelled by a mighty hand, strong hand. I don't know if you got any other type of but it's gonna take that hand. We'll say it like that. But yeah, it's a lot in here. Just a little bit. So far, and he's already starting to warn them that hey, it's these wonders is about to happen. I'm pretty sure they're like wonders. Because once again, we gotta act like we don't know the story yet, right? I mean, to
Yeah.
some level, some degree, we gotta act like it. I know we already know it. A minute rehash it. I don't know how many times, but these people like, oh, okay, wonders. Wow, right? Now, I don't know how they was thinking.
Doesn't this correspond with because we were looking at something before, I think it was the moneta or whatever like that, where this is an account from the Egyptians. They were saying the same thing, like these people came and they left and they took all our stuff. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, so it coincides with the whole premise of the Exodus story. You know, for the people who are on shaky ground about, is this real? Did this really happen? Were there really Israelites in Egypt? So there's Egyptian sources that are saying something happened to these people where there's another people there that took all their goods from them. So
And
yes,
like, I just want to say something. Like, so after we eventually get to the point of leaving with all that stuff, and when we leave, Most High basically destroys their army. I think this is the point when in history that nobody connects, because as we're introduced to Egypt in schools as kids, we're immediately presented with all Egyptians were fair skinned people from the Ptolemaic dynasty. That's what they looked like for thousands of years. And now we know that's not true, because up until this point in history, that there were dark skinned people too. Then that's how Moshe was able to blend in the first place. So once we leave and Most High destroys Pharaoh's army, I think this is how they were so vulnerable to then be taken over by the Arabs and whoever else ran up in Egypt, because he had no army. And then that's how the fair skinned Edomites and Ishmaelites came and took possession of the land, pretty much like how the Ottoman Empire took over modern day Israel now, before we return to it. Because like as a kid, I always thought that's okay. Well, Egyptians are always fair-skinned people. That's what we presented in books, movies, video games, documentaries. That they were always fair-skinned people. It was a clever way to hide it, and it was kind of interesting that at that point in history, when we leave, after we leave, not only did the Most High restore us, but then destroy us because of our disobedience for 40 years. That He also destroyed Ham, Cush, like Cush's kingdom in that region. That's interesting. But,
That's good. Yeah, and Meneptah Stele, to your point.
Manipta, yeah.
Yeah, the Meneptah Stele. I don't know if I heard about it before this, but it was the Believers of the Way. Whoever that main teacher is, the Believers of the Way. And we brought it up, and I was like, man, I hadn't looked into that in so long. So yeah, you reminded me of what it is he said, and then but yeah, it's out there. The Meneptah Stele. Anybody can look into it. Deals with the kind of shows what does it say for more than a century. This was the oldest known inscription mentioning Israel. It shows that the Israelites were already in Canaan at this point, at least 40 years after leaving Egypt, according to biblical chronology. Scholars holding to a Ramses exodus see this as evidence of an Egyptian attack shortly after the Israelites arrived in Canaan. However, there's no record of biblical conflict in the record of conflict with Egypt during the successful conquest of Canaan. This is crazy, y'all.
But
I re-
it 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 wasn't Ramses, because there was a whole documentary done on this. It was there was a pharaoh from what was it, the 18th dynasty. So someone, I forgot his name. It's one of these you know European guys. He was doing a breakdown on it. It was very insightful. So he broke it down to it was a few pharaohs before that, because the pharaoh before Ramses was Seti, and Seti was only um, in power for like what, 7 to 11 years. So that wouldn't coincide with the biblical narrative, because the pharaoh that was chasing down Moshe was on was on the throne for like 40 years. So the dates are off. So um, because they saw the city names, and then that's what they kind of said, oh, Ramses. So that's what they did, a name association thing instead of like doing a historical dig. They did a name association, so it kind of throws everything
okay.
off.
Salitis, maybe I don't. I'm just googling, bro. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Salitis, they said it was the first person considered the first Hyksos king of the founder of the 15th dynasty. But I don't know. Maybe that sounds familiar. Maybe not. I don't know. Once you get into Egyptology and all that, it starts getting weird. So
Yeah.
not trying to, if anybody's whatever, but I don't care.
Oh, and verse 16 was interesting too, bro. Because look to he gave instruction. All right. So the instruction was, go and gather the elders of Yasharel together. Right. So
Mhm.
it's telling us that, hey, at least the elders of Yasharel have been trusted throughout this time to um
Oh yeah,
to
very
disseminate
interesting.
information. Yeah.
Right. And if it went to the elders, it was like the rest of the rest of the tribes, they respected those elders. Like the people respected the
Right.
elders. It was like it'd be one thing if whatever Moshe and Aaron say go, but nah, it had to be whatever the elders, disseminated.
That's a fact. And if you see the
Hey,
contrast today, like, we don't treat our elders with well,
nah.
within our walk, we're doing a better job of that, but in
Yeah, you talking about
totality, we
largely
don't.
though. Largely the people, our people, like nah, yeah. It's different today, you know. Largely speaking to your point. Yeah, I mean, could be wrong, right on that, but let me just yeah. I want to say in my experience, probably in the last 20 years, it's just not necessarily been that. You've seen a gradual move away from that.
When he talks about a mighty hand,
Mm.
that reminded me like when we say we prefer being corrected by a brother or a sister than by the Most High. It's like only the Most High can can make a Pharaoh, listen.
It's a good
And he says,
observation.
be hard-headed.
Mm. We're gonna start saying Pharaoh headed.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true because in Egyptian culture, the pharaoh is a god amongst men. So
Absolutely.
there's no way he's gonna take instruction from a man on what he should do. It has to
Yeah.
be it has to be a so to speak a god telling him. You know what I'm saying? Same
Matter of
thing like
fact.
when we look at and you go into what's his name, Nebuchadnezzar and all this. You know what I'm saying? He's like,
Mhm.
oh, truly, your God is everything. You know, so it has to be a God for in order for these kings to bow down and actually listen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember this
so
when
the
we get into it later on. I want you to remember that, what you just not said. Go ahead, Manu.
because like do you think you're a God that nobody can correct you, nobody can talk to you? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. What is the first powerful sign that Yahuwah gave to Moshe that he could use when talking to Pharaoh? Books
Yeah, the
closed. Books
rod.
closed. Say it again.
No, it's not the rod, not yet.
Oh no. Oh, actually, that's good. Go ahead, Modamia. Go ahead. No, go no. Take that one. Go ahead and read that for us, please.
I read out of the Sefer, Shemot 4:1-5. And
Uh,
Moshe answered and said, but behold, they will not believe me, not hearken unto my voice, for they will say, Yahuwah has not appeared unto you. And Yahuwah said unto him, what is that in your hand? And he said, a rod. And he said, cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent. And Moshe fled from before it.
come
And
on now.
Yahuwah said unto Moshe, put forth your hand and take it by the tail. And he put forth his hand and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand. And they may believe that Yahuwah, Elohai of their fathers, the Elohai of Abraham and the Elohai of Yitzhak and the Elohai of Yaakov has appeared unto you.
Yes. Good deal. What did Moshe do? Well, I'm telling you, man, you got to read yourself in these scriptures. Nah, man. Back up. Nah, let me back up, man. I just saw a rod turn into a snake, partner. I'm straight.
That's us. We don't mess with no snakes.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I read this and I was like, oh, man. And he's like, no, go, no, just relax. I got you. I got just grab the tail. Just grab the tail. Grab what? Huh? If any of y'all tell me right now to grab the tail of a snake, y'all may be looking at this like, of course. But if y'all right now, today, right now, I know once we close these Bibles, we're going about our day, right? Any of y'all tell me to grab the snake by the tail. Boy, I'm telling you, you ain't lying. I better see y'all do some crazy stuff for me to believe
Bruh.
that. I'm gonna tell you
I think that would have been the hardest thing for me. It was when he tell him like, go ahead, call him back. And I'm like, what?
Mm.
right.
Bruh, just think about that. If it wasn't for a bush that wasn't burning, in a voice
It's gonna have to be
from the
that
Most High,
for me to
that's the
grab the
only
tail of
way
that
I'm gonna
snake.
pick up a snake by the tail, bro. I'm trying to tell you right now.
Yeah, real talk. All right, cool. I'll praise. Anything else? You want to press on? All right. All right, now let's go on to the next one. Books closed, books closed, books closed. What was the second one? Second powerful sign. And in the preview.
The bosom one.
Yeah. All right, let's go through. All right, let's open it back up. And who got me for this one real quick? The Shemot 4:6-9.
I'll read it if nobody wants to read it.
Thank you.
Uh, six.
I was like, can I get an email? I haven't read nothing.
Go ahead.
All right, that's it. And Yahuwah said, furthermore, unto him, Put now your hand into your bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and he took it out. Behold, his hand was leprous as snow, so white. And he
Yep.
said, put your hand into your bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it turned again as his other flesh. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe you, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign. So now this is interesting, right? Uh, with this leprosy, we know leprosy is just white skin, like no pigment in your skin. Now, why would he do a trick like this for white people? The fair
Go,
skin.
go, go ahead and finish out verse 9. Finish out verse 9.
Okay. And it came to pass, if they will not believe also these two signs, neither hearken unto your voice, that you shall take of the water of the river and pour it upon the dry land, and the water which you take out of the river shall become blood unto the dry land. There you
Yeah.
go.
No, go ahead. Go ahead and what you talking about.
That's like, 'cause I don't even remember. Like y'all remember that special like movie that they used to play like on ABC, Moses' Journey. That a lot of people go. I don't remember them even really going over that play real. Not they. I think they might have made his hand look monstrously like skinny or something, but I don't remember because they're all fair skinned people. So if I'm gonna stick my hand in my pocket and bring it out and it's just a white hand, I'm already white. Like why would I be scared? Why would I be scared? That don't make no sense. So like that's a little tiny clue in the very beginning of the book that they hid from us. Like that, I think that one is probably the most telling of all to this point in scripture, because it's like, wait, if Jesus is white already or a fair skinned guy sticking his hand, if Moshe sticking his hand in his pocket and bringing it back out and it's just a white hand again, like that's nothing miraculous. So it is interesting, man. Oh man,
Well, it's also like leprosy. I don't know. Uh, like before we studied it, we thought that leprosy was like, something on your skin, like those
like
little
boil.
bumps or like boils. You know what I mean? So if they were doing it, they will put boils on his hand. They're not gonna change the color of his skin. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because they do it on purpose, so we don't really know what leprosy is. And then when you study it and you realize it, then yes, you realize that it doesn't make sense, right?
And with
So
the
yeah,
image that Amaziah just put on screen, like
yes,
if that person's hand is completely the other leprosy color, they
Michael
look just like
Jackson.
a person. You wouldn't think that they have any sort of disease if that whole body was like that. So
Yeah,
even
it looks like a cross between like vitiligo
yeah,
and leprosy, of course. But yeah, there is a set to you both y'all's points. There is like a leprosy of like like
boils.
those bumps and those like look like craters and all of that. But I had to Google, is there a such thing as, turning white? And there is like a leprosy of turning white, white leprosy. So I just wanted to go ahead and show y'all that. Very interesting stuff. And
And that's probably the version that was demonstrated to Pharaoh, not not the. It may have had boils on it, but I would think that's probably the case, right? Because like
well, the reason why I asked that question is what you just not read. Remember what you
yeah,
just not read?
yeah.
Yeah, it
Read
specifically
verse
talk
6
about the
again.
color.
Right, exactly. Read verse 6 again, all the way to the last couple words.
All right. It's as snow, yeah. And
Okay.
Yahuwah said, furthermore unto him, put your hand into your bosom, and he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous like snow. So
There
like the
you go.
person you showed.
So I had to Google that. That's why I had to Google it because I was just like, okay, well, this says snow. So I was like, all right, let's deal
And
with it.
then he
All right.
said that it goes to his other flesh, that it
Right.
turns again as his other flesh. So how can it be, right? Like what can it be if it turns to white as snow
Come
and then
on.
he goes back to his other flesh?
Yeah.
He has to be. melanated
Dark
person.
skin, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Hey, like you said, where is this part? Once again, it's not, we don't, nobody here cares, if anybody's gonna listen to this, like, and nobody cares about skin color. All we care about is
The
truth.
truth.
What is
Yeah.
wrong with just speaking? If that's the situation, put it in the movie. Why
Yeah.
does that was a great like
100%.
it just cares, right? Like, but obviously somebody cares. Good night. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, and it's not us that care. If
right,
if there was no images, if there were no wrong images out there, if there were no wrongdoings on movies and stuff like this, then we would not have to try to get the record straight.
right.
They made it an issue. We didn't.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I think it's
wouldn't be an
unfair
issue
that
if they just told the truth.
and I think it's unfair that any other time we see anything referring to white as snow, white this, it happens. It's referring to. Oh no, it just means yeah, he was white. But in this instance, it's not so. So you know, what I'm saying it's kind of like moving the goalposts a little bit.
That's it.
You
That's the
know,
argument of the
Oh,
strategy. You got it.
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, good stuff. I always like that's. But yeah. Oh, and in the last part we said and what so what now is the Most High already doing? I know he kind of we had to breeze through that last verse. But now, what did the Most High already kind of give you a preview of? He giving them a
The
warning.
plagues, the
Yeah,
plagues, the blood in
you
the
don't
land.
right. He's like exactly. He simply saying, hey. Obviously, you don't see it in your. You better go to your little sorcerers, your magicians up over there. I'm telling you right now that now, uh, man, he says right there in 9. This give you a preview, a whole warning beforehand. Will become blood. But they was like, but once again, Pharaoh being Pharaoh headed. I appreciate that. That's good one. I'm going, oh yeah, that's for sure. I'm gonna use that now going forward. Pharaoh headed. There's hard headed, and then there's Pharaoh headed. Where hard headed, maybe the right person come along and straighten you out. Pharaoh headed means that the Most High got to straighten you out. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, let's make that a norm in our culture. Pharaoh headed. All right. Next question. So even though Moshe had a listen Linda moment, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Listen Linda, listen Linda. Oh, hopefully y'all know. Moment. What did he do to his brother for his sake? I should put he in capital He, capital H. So even though Moshe had a listen Linda moment, listen Linda. Hopefully y'all know what I'm talking about. Do y'all know what I'm talking about or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Even though he had that, what did he also had to do to his brother for his sake, for lowercase his sake, for Moshe's sake?
He had his brother Aaron speak on his behalf.
Hey, all right. All right, let's get it. Smoke 4:10 through 16. Who got it?
I have it.
Tao, thank you. Go ahead.
And Moshe said unto Eliyahu, O Adonai, I am not eloquent, neither before nor since you have spoken unto your servant, but I am slow of speech and of slow tongue. And Yahuwah said unto him, Who has made man's mouth? Or who makes the dumb or deaf or the seeing or the blind? Have not I, Yahuwah? Now therefore go, and I will be with your mouth, and teach you what you shall say. And he said, O Adonai, send, I pray you, by the hand of him who you will send. And the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against Moshe. And he said, Is not Aaron the Levite your brother? I know that he can speak well. And also, behold, he comes forth to meet you. And when he sees you, he will be glad in his heart. And you shall speak unto him and put the words in his mouth. And I will be with your mouth and with his mouth. and will teach you what you shall do. And he shall be your spokesman unto the people, and even he shall be to you instead of a mouth, and you shall be to him instead of Elohim.
Hallelujah. Yeah. Yeah. To listen in the moment. Y'all read in verse 11, man. I've made it all. What you? Who has made man's mouth? Huh? Who
Yeah.
makes him mute? Who makes him deaf? Who makes him sin? Who makes him blind? But you don't want to trust me? You know what I'm saying? I just, I can do all that for you. Look, man, go get your brother, man. Get your brother. Yeah, get the one that's funny over there. He can speak good. He's like a Levite comedian over there. Go get your brother, and we're gonna take care of this. All right.
The Levite comedian.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
But see, they
I
don't put that part in the movie with
no
Charleston Heston.
no.
Slow of speech, stuttering, and all that. They ain't put that in there. You know?
Yeah.
Ah, dog.
Oh my goodness. But yeah. Who? No, I don't know. I don't know how it would have sounded. I'm just trying to understand what it is. But like Most High got to be, that kindling part that says that, right? Verse 14, the kindling. All right, relax. I got you. You know, it's like situation.
Yeah. So in essence, Aaron was like, Aaron was like a press secretary to the president.
I'm talking about, yeah.
Because if we just had to sit here and listen to the POTUS speak all day, I'd probably lose my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
man.
the press secretary is there, quick on her feet, quick on his feet, answer these questions,
Yeah. You ain't lying. If you gotta listen to any of them presidents, you'll go crazy. So yeah, you need that press secretary to take care of that. Yeah. You ain't
Especially the
lying.
last two.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Oh my
goodness.
goodness. That's essentially what popped in my mind. I'm just gonna keep it a buck.
Ooh, I'm like,
Man,
whoo.
I could be
fumbling,
against
bumbling.
old trauma's policies, but man, like I definitely would not like to hear I mean, at least he was tolerable as far as listening to, but yeah, these last two, nah, homie.
One was Alzheimer's and the other one was like a toddler. Talks like a
Yes.
toddler. I'm like, oh my goodness.
We're gonna do it so much, and then so. I mean, like he just, oh my goodness, he just repeats himself so much. It's ridiculous.
But this
Ah,
kind of speaks to Moshe's point, though, if you think about it, because how do we view these last two when they get up there and talk? Like we
yeah,
know,
we wouldn't be able to handle it.
oh my goodness,
I cut it off in a heartbeat.
like what are you saying right now? I don't get it. Yeah,
Uh,
Really, I know
Interesting to
I've
see.
taught some fourth graders who can make talk better than Trump.
It's interesting to see that the Most High is still using people that have like those little impairment. They remind me of Gideon as well. Yeah,
yeah, when he was asking over and over and over again.
yeah, those
Uh,
people that are not confident at all.
yeah, yeah. This is interesting.
It also
Uh,
shows us that we shouldn't prejudge who the Most High has chosen just because they might have something that we deem as, not sounding knowledgeable or uh, and a lot of people won't listen to people who maybe talk with a lisp or maybe have a little tied tongue or something like that. They
hmm
won't listen to them. But we look at things like that instead of listening with our spiritual ears. We listen physically and look physically on the physical things that we see.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I like it. Yeah, that's just. If I have any more questions, yeah, I gotta continue on. Otherwise, I comment on that too. All right. What was the next major warning was closed that Moshe was to deliver to Pharaoh if he did not do as the Most High told him to do? I don't even keep it above with you. I don't even know the answer to this. I wonder who I was thinking, who I was talking about. Uh,
Is that? I don't know. I'm just,
yeah, I'm just trying
is
to
it
catch up.
gonna strike him?
Let's go. Let's just read it. Let's go. We'll go together on this. Hey, I'll tell you, I'm in this with y'all. All right, who got Shemo 4:17 through 23? Halahis.
I'll
I
get
can
it.
get it.
Generally,
Who's gonna get it? I can get it.
Okay.
And you shall take this rod in your hand, wherewith you shall do signs. And Moshe went and returned to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said unto him, Let me go, I pray you, and return unto my brethren which are in Mizraim, and ye whither be yet alive, and see whether they be yet alive. And Jethro said to Moshe, Go in peace. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe in Midian, Go, return into Mizraim, for all men are dead which sought your life. And Moshe took his woman and his sons, and set them upon an ass, and he returned to the land of Mizraim. And Moshe took the rod of Elohim in his hand.
Mhm.
And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, When you go to return into Mizraim, see that you do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in your hand. But I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go. And you shall say unto Pharaoh, Thus says Yahuwah, Yasharel is my son, and even my firstborn. And last verse. And I say unto you, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if you refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay your son, even your firstborn.
There you go. That was the. I was like, what is the warning? What was this? Yeah. So he's saying that. And I mean, that's the that's the cherry on top, if you will, of a plagues. Um. Uh. Yeah. Yeah. He delivered that warning way beforehand, and it feels like, or it seems like. Let me see. Oh, no, he said he's gonna harden his heart already. Okay. So yeah, he'd already said he's gonna go ahead and harden his heart. But but he's still giving him the warning regardless. Regardless.
Man, he's
Anything stood out to y'all outside of the main thing that I think I might comment on, but go ahead. Let me see if anybody else thinking the same.
my grandparents said too.
What's that again? Come here.
That
Somebody.
verse 22.
Yeah.
Um, and you shall say unto Pharaoh, Thus says Yahuwah, Yasharel is my son, even my firstborn. What's the one? I think he was saying, and I shall say unto you, Let my son go, that he may serve me. And if you refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay your son, even your firstborn.
Hmm.
Oh man, that was another verse. He was saying, it's not this one. I was thinking of out of Egypt have I called my son. So it wasn't that verse.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
that's actually interesting to see that he called Yasharel his son on this one, when we know there's other scriptures when he called Yasharel a woman, right?
Hmm. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
interesting to see.
It
It's
is.
extremely interesting. So the aspect of it is extremely interesting. Sorry, did you want to say something else?
No,
No, I
no,
was
no,
agreeing
that's
with
good.
her. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's that what was, and I know you know this one, I mean, but I wonder if everybody else, but still speak on it if you like how what's the importance of a firstborn in those times? What's like the well, I think y'all know that, but let me say it like this. what is the authoritative aspect whenever somebody says, all right, that's my firstborn?
Bloodline?
Yeah.
Heritage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Continue on almost anything that anybody. In other words, if you come around anybody doing something to your child and you say, hey, no, that's my child. What even in today's time, right now, what does that mean? It's like you
It's
have full authority over
protected.
that. Say
Yeah.
it again.
These hands.
It's protected.
Yeah. That they're protected almost, and even in ancient times, I almost venture to say, because if you're dealing with somebody that's in Pharaoh's position, you're almost going to have to show that you are the God of these people. That you're like, I have that level of authority. So in other words, you think that you control these people, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I control them. This is my firstborn. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know
So
ain't nobody.
I'm
well, he had to use Pharaoh as an example, like, because like you said, Pharaoh is basically a god king, in the Mitzrayim's eye. He's a god king, a living,
Right.
like,
And
to them.
who's gonna tell him that he can that somebody can do something with these people when you have quote unquote control over
and
them?
too, firstborn. It says, what's it say? My son, my firstborn means that, and it comes to firstborn was the one that inherited the father's, and the father passed on, inherits the father's position,
Yes.
Yeah,
family. And um and so he became, uh the ruler over all that his father had.
Hmm.
And that includes his younger siblings, brothers, sisters, everything his father's had is now in his hand.
Right.
And so um, Israel is the Most High's uh, son,
Heritage. To your
his
point.
firstborn, because we stand to inherit the kingdom as a people. When he was talking to Pharaoh, Pharaoh only had one son. Of
Hmm.
course, Pharaoh probably was thinking that his son would, you know, take the throne after him. Uh, and unbeknownst to Pharaoh, he didn't know that Yah could take his inheritance and destroy it.
Right.
His inheritance and destroy it. So, uh, and I was thinking about this too, because sometimes, most of the time is we're referred to as say, I think it's in, sometimes you see, oh yeah, save Jacob, which means, you know, his people. And then sometimes Israel is referred to as a wife.
Hmm.
Sometimes, like we see here, firstborn, my son, my inheritance. All that
That's it.
refers to Israel. Probably has a lot to do with the context of what we're reading, I would think.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
also dealing with a firstborn son, it's either he can be your greatest accomplishment or your biggest failure because you pour everything into your firstborn. And some of us who were born firstborn, there's a lot of responsibilities that we have. From myself being a firstborn to my father and mother, the responsibility that was levied on my head to my sibling is something that she would never have to even consider. So firstborns are innately born with more responsibility. But you can also, like we see with Esau, saying once, you can also mess that up. And you could be either the greatest accomplishment or the biggest disappointment.
Yeah, definitely can. Yeah, yeah, this is good stuff, y'all. Yeah, it's just the aspect. That's how I looked at it. Like I said, in, in my opinion, in that specific context, 'cause I'm putting what a couple of y'all said like together. It's just it's a heritage thing. Like this is my heritage. This is and I think somebody even said inheritance, and even in that word inheritance, there's the word heir, right? Heir.
You
Like if
gotta
you're the heir of something,
you
right?
gotta break down what it means inherited, because it can also mean other things.
That's your badge.
Yep, that's the best.
That's what I thought. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That
And
mean everything.
as a heir, you receive things like you just not said. Like somebody else said, you receive things. So yeah, that's
So
what I
hey,
thought.
you're the firstborn. That don't mean you're gonna inherit everything, because some firstborns don't.
Yeah, but in the biblical sense, yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
Esau.
thing,
Esau's the example.
right? Unless he specified, because he remember when we read in Bereshit with whose sons was that? That was Joseph's sons.
Yeah.
Remember? And what Yeah, I remember what the most. Excuse me, what what Yosef was trying to do with with Israel's hands,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Nah, man." He's like, he had to tell him as old as Yaakov was at that time, because once again, this is how we do. But as old as Yaakov was at that time, he was trying to correct me. Yeah, Yaakov said, Look, I know what I'm doing." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're trying to give it to Manasseh.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, because there was an understanding of what it meant to be what the elders were supposed to get and the whole nine. But yes, what did it change at times? Yeah, of course. Was there like a standard? Yes, there was a standard. Absolutely. All right. Yeah, good stuff, y'all. This is why I like them. Child. I think this might be it. Let me make sure. I can't go no further ahead. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Yeah, yeah, this is it. It's the last one. All right. So what was super important to deliver to the elders? What was super important to deliver to the elders? I think this is gonna be a swap of scripture.
Said what was super important to deliver to the elders?
Yep.
Information.
Yeah, go to Exodus chapter 4.
And that Yahuwah is the Yah of
Yeah.
Yasharel.
Verse.
Hmm.
Wait, it could be first one.
Okay, I like it. Let's go ahead and read it in. Let's read it. Let's read out that last little bit. Who got it? Who
And
got
it came to pass by the way. And 24 to 31.
it? Yeah, 24 through 31. Shabazz, if you got it.
Oh man, that's a lot. Well, I'll try, but okay.
Go for it. You got plenty of help in there.
And it came to pass by the way in the inn that Yahuwah met him, and
That's chapter 4.
chapter 4, verse 24.
Yeah.
24 and all the way to 31. Yeah.
And sought to kill him.
And sought to kill him.
Then Sephora
Then Sephora took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her
Right.
son and cast it at his feet and said, Surely a blood man you are to me.
Yep. Continue on.
So he let him go. And she said, A blood man you are because of the circumcision. And Yahuwah said to Elohim, Aaron, go into the wilderness and meet Moshe.
Uh-huh.
And he went
and met him in the mountain of Elohim and kissed him. And Moshe and Aaron, all the words of Yahuwah who has sent him, and all that signs which he has commanded him. And Moshe and Aaron went and gathered together all the elders of the children of Yasharel, and Aaron.
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
30.
Aaron spoke all the words which Yahuwah had spoken unto Moshe, and the signs and did the signs in the sight of the people. And the people believed and went there when they heard that Yasharel Yahuwah has visited the children of Israel, and and that he had looked upon though their affliction, then they bowed their heads and worshiped.
Hallelujah. You see that? So yeah, to answer the question, they had to deliver all of the, excuse me, all of the signs and the whole nine. The signs and the words that the Most High spoke. But then, and once they saw that, right, people believe that the Most High actually heard them, and and he visited people and he seen their affliction and the whole nine. Remember, we ended it last lesson that that Ori had done with them crying out to the Most High. And now what's happening here? They seeing prayers answered. They seeing prayers answered, man. They got signs happening in front of them right there. Snakes and
Yep.
all of that. You know what I'm saying? Turning into rods and you know what I'm saying? I mean, like it's some crazy stuff. But it's just like, man, Most High is actually like he's here. Like it's just. But anyway, that to me is just man, it's powerful. God, that's so powerful.
It is.
And
It's
yeah,
significant.
go ahead.
Because if you go to Matthew 12, let's see, 39, right?
Mhm.
I'll start at 38. So it says, then certain of the scribes and Pharisees answered, saying, Master, we would see a sign from thee. But he answered and said unto them, an evil and adulterous generation thinketh after a sign, and there should be no sign given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. So, so they're sitting there looking for a sign because he's saying, hey, look, he's bringing salvation just like Moshe's bringing, but Moshe came with signs, and so they're saying, okay, well, if you're a representative of Yah, they're trying to refer it back to Moshe. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, no, that's not how this is going to go. So this is a different dispensation. That's what I'm getting inferring from the verses.
Absolutely. You hit
Yeah,
it on the nose. You already hit it on the nose of what you just now said. That's a different dispensation. At that
right.
time, in Matthew's time, what did they already have now in hand?
Yeah,
Oh, they already had the Torah. They already had the Torah,
the
right?
all the instructions. Yeah.
This is
Torah
literally as this is
mentioned.
happening. This is real time right now. They like they ain't saying nothing. I mean, did they know from oral tradition? Sure. I'm not simply saying they didn't. Obviously they wouldn't believe, right? But things are happening for them at that time. So yeah, that
So
is
the
cool that you did that contrast in case you ever come across that with anybody. Like you said, it's a dispensation. So
the same when we talk about sign, isn't that? I don't have the scripture like right now in my head, but isn't that when he told us when Mashiach came back
hmm
and
yeah,
Thomas
Doubting
asked like
Thomas.
to see, right? And he just like to see. He was not believing that Mashiach came back, and he has to see his hands. He had
Yeah,
to see the sign of like that he was coming, that he came back.
yeah, that's how siblings gonna be. You know what I'm saying? You got people outside the house that believe, but your own siblings ain't gonna even.
That's how our people
Right.
are now.
Yeah, they want to see they want to see it,
Yeah.
right? To believe it.
Yeah, the trip, man. Yeah, good deal, y'all. Well, I know we didn't have ourselves a good time today. All right, that's it, y'all. Let me just read it out. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Elohim and fear Elohim and guard his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For Elohim shall bring every work into judgment, whether with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. That's Ecclesiastes 12:13-14. And then we have Revelations 14:12. You know what I'm saying? Here's the patience of the Kodashim. Here are they that guard the commandments of Yahuwah and the belief of Yahusha.